The brutal truth about nice guys and women. Hey tricksters, stop. Look at your phone. Look at the silence on the screen. Now notice your chest. That tight feeling? That's not love. That's withdrawal. Because she hasn't replied. And something shifted. But you didn't feel it happen. Here's the truth men don't admit out loud, but confess to me every single day. You don't miss her. You miss the validation. Men don't panic when they lose women. They panic when they lose certainty. You believe that if you were kind enough, available enough, supportive enough, you would earn loyalty. You believed love was a transaction. That goodness guarantees safety. That effort guarantees affection. But look around. The nice guys are ignored. The pleasers are friend-zoned. The men who would do anything for her are the men she respects the least. And this isn't because women are evil. It's because human psychology is ruthless. After millions of conversations with men, one pattern is undeniable. Men who overgive do not feel confident. They feel anxious. They text fast because silence scares them. They over-explain because disapproval terrifies them. They compromise boundaries because loneliness feels worse than disrespect. Women don't respond to generosity. They respond to self-containment. Nature does not respect what begs to be kept. Psychology does not reward availability. Desire is not built on safety. It is built on tension. Machiavelli understood something modern society refuses to say. Power is not given to the virtuous. It is taken by the strategy. Humans are ungrateful, fickle, performative, and attraction follows the same rules. You're here because you're tired of being the passenger in your own relationships. Tired of decoding mood swings. Tired of silence being used as punishment. Tired of feeling like one wrong move could make her disappear. You've watched men with fewer morals, fewer words, and fewer apologies command attention effortlessly, while you work for it like a slave. And here's the part most men hate hearing. It's not your looks. It's not your money. It's not even your status. It's your frame. In the next 20 minutes, we dismantle everything you've been told about love, women, and connection, and replace it with something colder, cleaner, and effective. 7 psychological keys. Not pickup lines. Not manipulation tricks. Mental rewiring. Once you see these mechanics, you can't unsee them. You'll see the strings on everyone. And if you're ready to stop being the emotional support character and start being the prize, let's begin the autopsy of your nice guy persona. Principle 1. The economy of absence. Here's a brutal economic truth. If air were sold, you'd only pay for it when you were drowning. Right now, you are free air. Men tell me this all the time. I just wanted to show her I cared. What you showed her was no scarcity. You reply instantly. You're always available. You cancel plans for her maybe. You think you're showing devotion. Psychologically, you're signaling replaceability. Machiavelli wrote, "Familiarity breeds contempt." When people have unlimited access to you, your value collapses. Absence creates imagination. Imagination creates obsession. And here's what men never want to admit. The moments she becomes most curious about you are the moments you are not there. Not replying isn't power. Having a life you don't abandon is. When a man is genuinely busy, building, training, sharpening, his absence isn't a tactic. It's a side effect of value. Women can feel the difference between a man pretending to be busy and a man who doesn't need attention to feel whole. The first is manipulative. The second is dangerous. When she takes 3 hours to reply, the old you panics, double texts, explains. The evolved you puts the phone down and continues his mission. You don't punish her with silence. You refuse to reward anxiety. Humans chase what retreats. If you run toward her, she runs to maintain distance. Stand still in your purpose and watch who turns around. Principle 2. Emotional unpredictability. Most men are emotionally readable, and that's their downfall. After thousands of confessions, this is clear. Women don't get bored of men. They get bored of predictability. Slot machines don't addict people because they pay out. They addict people because they might. Most men respond the same way every time. Same reactions, same emotions, same apologies. You become a solved equation. Machiavelli said, "Be the lion and the fox, strong but elusive. Your emotions are yours, not hers. If she's distant, you stay calm. If she's chaotic, you stay grounded. When she can't control your emotional temperature, she starts seeking your validation. The moment she wonders what you're thinking, the power has shifted." Principle 3. The Mirror of Narcissism, Validation Control. Here's a truth men whisper but never process. Everyone is in love with themselves, including her, especially her. Every human wants one thing before love, before sex, before commitment: to be seen. Most men try to win women by talking, explaining, performing. They talk about their goals, their struggles, their pain, their plans. They think vulnerability builds attraction. What it actually builds is familiarity without respect. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. To control people, you don't sell your greatness. You reflect theirs. You become the mirror. You speak less. You observe more. But you don't listen like a therapist. You listen like a strategist. You don't ask surface questions. You ask questions that bypass her mask. Why do you hate being alone? What made you stop trusting men? Why do you always test people before you commit? When you speak to her shadow, not her persona, something snaps into place. She feels exposed, but safe. And that combination is lethal. Here's the part men don't realize until it's too late. When you make someone feel deeply understood, they confuse it with destiny. She'll say things like, "I've never told anyone this. I don't know why I feel so comfortable with you." What she's really saying is, "You made me feel important." But power lies in control of validation. You are the one holding the mirror. You decide when it's raised and when it disappears. When validation is consistent, it's boring. When it's selective, it's addictive. Withdraw it slightly, not cruelly, and watch what happens. She starts trying again, talking more, seeking your eyes. She's not chasing you. She's chasing herself as she saw herself through you. Use this carefully, because this is how emotional dependency is born. Principle 4. Destroy the pedestal. There is a virus in your operating system. You were taught that women are angels, pure, morally superior, that they must be protected, worshipped, impressed. This is the pedestal, and nothing kills attraction faster. Think about it. If you treat her like a celebrity, you become a fan. Fans don't get intimacy. Fans wait in line. Fans pay emotional tickets. Machiavelli warned against illusion. He said power requires seeing people as they are, not as you wish them to be. She is human. She is flawed. She is insecure. She has made selfish decisions. When you worship her, she feels your inferiority. Women are hypergamous. They date across or up, never down. By placing her above you, you disqualify yourself. The shift happens when you stop being impressed. You disagree. You tease. You challenge. Not with anger, but with amusement. When you calmly say, "I don't agree with that," her system glitches. Because she's used to men nodding for approval. Respect is born when you value your truth more than her validation. She cannot love a man she doesn't respect, and she cannot respect a man who fears her disapproval. Take her off the pedestal and invite her into reality. That's where real attraction lives. Principle 5. The authority of silence. Here's a rule Machiavelli lived by. The one who speaks less controls the frame. You talk too much because you're afraid of misunderstanding. You explain because you're afraid of losing her. You justify because you're afraid of silence. Silence terrifies insecure men. But silence is where power lives. In arguments, the loudest man loses. In negotiations, the one who fills the silence loses. In attraction, the man who over-explains loses. Mystery dies in overexposure. If you tell her your entire story, you become a finished puzzle. Finished puzzles go back in the box. Silence does something dangerous. It forces her to project. Why isn't he reacting? What is he thinking? Did I say something wrong? When she tests you, stay calm. When she provokes, stay neutral. When she withdraws, do not chase. Let the silence stretch. She will fill it. Because silence implies you are evaluating her. Never announce boundaries. Demonstrate them. Never say, I don't tolerate disrespect. Withdraw access. Silence is not weakness. It is confidence without performance. Principle 6. The willingness to walk away. This is the nuclear weapon, and it cannot be faked. Machiavelli warned, a ruler who depends on others is already conquered. If you need her, she owns you. If you prefer her but can live without her, you are free. Men stay in bad dynamics because they fear the void. They tolerate disrespect because loneliness feels worse. They negotiate boundaries because they lack options. The moment you internalize this truth, not intellectually, but emotionally, everything changes. You are the prize. There are billions of women. There is only one you. This isn't bravado. Women sense bluffing instantly. You must actually build a life where losing her is an inconvenience, not an identity collapse. When she knows you will open the door the moment boundaries are crossed. She doesn't leave. She relaxes. Because safety comes from structure. Weak men feel safe to leave. Strong men feel safe to stay with. You only keep what you are willing to lose. Cling, and it slips away. Release, and it stays. You clicked this video wanting power over women. But notice something. Every principle you've learned is not about controlling her. It's about mastering yourself. Your impulses. Your neediness. Your fear. You failed before because you were a slave. To validation. To lust. To attention. When you conquer that internal chaos, you become gravity. She doesn't submit to force. She submits to order. Not your anger, your peace. Not your desperation, your direction. Control is not gripping the neck. Control is stilling the mind. When you are the most grounded element in the room, everything else rotates around you. That is physics. That is nature. Kill the nice guy. Not because he's kind, but because he lies. Birth the prince. He doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. He rules himself. If you're done being chosen and ready to be the one who chooses, type this in the comments. I choose power. The next video goes deeper. You've learned how to stand. Next, you learn how to move. Don't miss it.